Welcome back. This is Dinner with Dino. My name is Dean Ferrer, but you can call me Dino. This week we're making one of my most favorite Portuguese dishes, Rojões.
It's just pork butt.
Yeah, it's made with pork butt, but it's called Rojões.
Lame.
Rojões. Yes, it's pork butt. But Rojões, now you got me saying it. Rojões is a very traditional Portuguese recipe. Growing up, we used to actually raise pigs and chickens, and every winter we would have what's called a matança. Matança is just, I know it sounds really gross, but it's a slaughter. We would take the pigs and we would slaughter the pigs, and after the pigs were slaughtered, we'd chop up the meat and we would make rojões fresh from the pork. So it's a little kind of gross, but it was actually really, really tasty. So today we're going to talk about how to make rojões. And you'll notice here we got a number of spices that we're going to be using. We've got some texjoy, we've got some black pepper, we got some of my favorite, crushed red peppers, olive oil, paprika, we have bay leaf, we have black pepper, and we have this, what we call piri piri. It's a spice, really hot sauce that my friend Mario Di Carvalho brought. It's very, very good. And then we also have some red wine that we're going to be using, and we're going to use... Silas, we're not using brandy in this. Good grief. Anyway, so we also have some onions. We're gonna use a half an onion, and we got about 5 or 6 cloves that we're gonna actually chop up in small pieces and put in the pot. And then we have the main ingredient, this pork butt. Now, you'll notice on the bottom, what's that? Fat, a lot of fat. But there's a reason we have a lot of fat. For this dish, you wanna have a lot of fat. The fat is what makes the flavor. And if you're keto, pay attention because this entire meal is keto friendly. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna chop up the meat, chop up the onions, chop up the peppers, and then we'll put it all together. You ready? Let's go. Now that we have the meat, the onions, and the cloves of garlic all chopped up, it's time to put it in the pot and put all this together. Let's go. Make sure your pot is nice and hot before you add the olive oil. Once the olive oil heats up, go ahead and add your pork cubes. It's a good idea to continuously stir the meat to make sure it gets brown all over. Look at all that nice fat and juices starting to sizzle and come out of that meat. Yeah, baby. Now we need to take out some of those juices or else the meat will not brown. So take out a little bit, but put it on the side. You want to save that for later. Notice that meat starting to get brown. Next, let's add that onion and cloves to the mix. You may need to add some of that juice back into the meat in case it gets too dry. Now to add the spices. After you added all the spices, let them stir for a little bit and saute. And then the final one is the wine, nice red wine. Final step, adding those nice veggies that we didn't talk about earlier. I wound up adding all that juice that I'd taken out of the pot back in just to keep it nice and juicy and gravy filled. Time to eat some rojões. Oh yeah. So the food's ready to go. We have our guests that showed up here. I'm very excited. Silas and I have been picking. Jason, who's helping us film today, he was picking, I was picking, Silas picking, everybody was picking. There's still plenty left, so there's good. I'm very excited though because we have a very special wine. It's called Rapariga de Quinta. You want me to say it? Rapariga de Quinta. Can you roll your R's? So I went to Total Wine yesterday. It was our Total Wine Superstore here. Went into the wine section. And I was talking to Chelsea and I said, I got a cooking show. I need a great wine for pork. And she said, Rapariga de Quinta. Actually, she didn't say it like I said. She said this is a great wine. It's really full-bodied and it's fruity. It goes well with pork. So I'm very excited. You need to go to Total Wine and More on Woodruff Road, the Shops at Verde, Shops at Greenridge. Shops at Greenridge. Say Verde. Shops at Greenridge. Get all your wines. So tonight we're going to have Rapariga the Quinta. Can we all say that together? Rapariga the Quinta. Now if you say it like barriga, barriga is tummy. So don't say barriga, because barriga is tummy. Rapariga the Quinta. We're gonna get everybody's glasses full, and then we're gonna get our meal ready.
Yeah.
Going? All right, let's do it. She's smelling it too. Yes, she's got this thing down.
Yes, please.
Do I need to tip the glass over like a beer?
We're good, actually.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers!
Cheers! Oh, I drink with the
Hey.
bottle. Cheers, 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 Silas.
Give us your honest opinion. You had a little sip of the wine. What do you think?
I rate this at 8.5 out of 10.
8.5 out of 10. Very good. Okay. And everybody loves wine. Jason?
I'm gonna go with a 9 out of 10. It gives you a good taste and makes you want to drink another sip.
Oh, awesome. And Shantae, I know you're a big wine person. Your thoughts?
I am, but I don't really know how to rate them except for I love it or it's okay. And I love it.
Love it. Okay.
So great, yes.
Apollo?
It's amazing. Delicious.
Delicious. All right. Are you all ready for the food now?
Yes!
The steam.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Luscious, luscious, just like Dino.
So good.
Yeah,
Hey,
let her
just
go
serve
first.
that way, yeah.
Let me get a few veggies because the veggies are near, so they're kind of mixed around. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Some veggies, you need a little color in there.
Thank you. You were snacking on it today, haven't you? So good.
Give me a bite, Jason. Give me a bite.
Oh.
The meat's very tender.
What was that, Apollo? There we go.
A-okay. Delicious. Flavorful.
Savory.
So one of the things that makes the meat tender, I will tell you, that as you're cooking the meat, so I talked to my mom just to make sure I was doing this right, because I've made this dish before, but this is a version of my grandmother's dish. So the way my mom makes it is different, so I wanted to make it like my grandmother made it. And she would just very quickly make stuff. So you put the meat in the pot, and there's nothing in it, a little bit of olive oil, and then you let the meat simmer and get all the fat out of it. Creates this juice. We call it molho. I have to translate. Molho is gravy, but it's not really gravy. It's just this liquid. So that actually allows the meat to almost simmer and cook, but not stir fry too quickly so it gets hard, and it gets it very soft and tender. And then you take the molho out and you let it get brown. So that gives it little opportunities to be tender versus being tough.
Okay.
So it's already in chunks when you put it in. So do you have to cut it in chunks?
I have to cut it in
You
chunks.
have to cut it in chunks.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Watch the beginning of the video. It took me a long time. I had
It's got to be a chore, yeah.
well, it is.
Or
It's
tedious.
yeah. It was a 5.5 pound piece of meat, pork butt with a bone,
Wow.
and there's still some in the freezer. So
Oh, okay.
sauce is-
Because it reduced a lot then.
yeah, there's about maybe a half pound left because most of it's bone, but it does reduce a lot. And it's chopping the cube, and the whole bottom portion of the pork butt was fat, like that thick, fat.
And you left that on there?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the fat gives it a lot of flavor. You know, people think I shouldn't eat fat; it's really unhealthy for me, but it's not.
Oh.
I grew up eating like this, and I'll tell you, growing up, I was never overweight, ever. My mom would cook things just naturally, and my mom would just use some basic spices. A lot of Portuguese cooking is just some basic spices:
Right.
garlic, salt,
Combination.
pepper, onions, bay leaf, olive oil, paprika, some not Tabasco sauce, some crushed red pepper. Very simple spices.
This is probably the best meal I've had in a long time. Thank you, Mr.
Oh.
This is
Aside from
amazing.
some of his wife's cooking, of course, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, besides my wife.
It tastes just as luscious as it looks. Definitely a treat. It's like homey, it's like comfort. It's like something I would want on a cold day. I mean, it's perfect for today. It's perfect.
This is one of those meals that you're gonna have 2 helpings of.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
have to say, I've had many of Dean's dishes. This is by far my favorite.
So the first time I made this dish and I was cooking it, Silas called it
Dog food.
dog food because it looks like it's pork cubes and stuff. But after I cooked and he ate it, what did you say, Silas?
That's some good.
Dog food. But no, I'm excited. It turned out really, really good. I'm very happy that I did have to call my mom just a couple times, only because of some of the cooking techniques, to make sure it was just right. So thank you for joining us. It's a great, great dinner, and I appreciate all my friends. I know all these people. I love them all very dearly, and they're all part of our lives and part of our community, and I'm just so thankful that you're able to come here and share a meal with us.
Hello.
Man, that was delicious. All of our guests just love Rojões. I know, pork butt. Anyway, next week we're gonna have a special dish. It's gonna be sauteed wings, Portuguese style, with Portuguese French fries. I know, Portuguese French fries. Doesn't even make sense, right? But it's gonna be fantastic. Join us again next week.
Lame.